Okay, hey guys, we're on. How's everybody doing today? Alex, how's it going?
Good, good. Close to the holidays and excited for reInvent.
Yes, I'm excited to get into this topic. I'm even wearing my Reinvent, I think this is 20, oh, I don't know now, 2019, 2018 shirt. I don't know if you went to replay. I remember it vaguely. It feels like a long time ago that I was at the States. Matt,
10
how are you
years
doing this?
ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
well, I'm glad.
I'm doing really well as well. I'm also trying to remember like specific events from the last in-person reInvent session. I believe I was there 2019, and but it was a blast and kind of gives me some tingly feelings as I think about what this year's going to be like.
Yeah, I'm so jealous that you are both going. But next year, I will come back to the States and hopefully get to go and hopefully present. Fingers crossed. That's the dream. That's the goal. But looking forward to it. But reInvent was great. Also, Matt, love your bookcase. I feel like I need to. I've got this feedback on my background. I need to tidy it up, but I should just get a bookcase that I can slide in.
I
Oh
change my
yeah,
background on a daily basis. It drives Steph crazy.
yeah, for the a little bit of muscle with in some bookshelves from IKEA, and you can have a very similar setup.
Yeah, I just have them just for this though. I just bring it in and then I get rid of them every time. So just be in the middle of the room for sure. Anyway, right, let's get into it. So welcome everyone to the Keys to AWS Optimization, the show where we share stories, concepts, and solutions to help you unlock your spend at AWS. My name is Stephanie Gooch, and I am a commercial architect at AWS, and I am excited to be talking about reInvent and all the things that are going to be about it today, and wishing I was going.
Yes, I want you to be there in person, but with the last one you being there, I don't think I was there on 2019. Last time I was there, which I believe was 2018, was when Shaq and Pitbull were the entertainment. So I believe that was like a solid 3 years ago. Did you see Shaq and Pitbull?
No, I don't remember. I can't remember what year I went. Maybe it was 20 because it was before I started here. It wasn't that year.
Yeah, and then last year I spoke at reInvent on our virtual, but I had to film it in my garage. Matt, I don't know if you know this, but I had to film it in my garage because I had COVID the day that I was supposed to go into the studios to film. So I had like 104-degree fever and like have all the lights on me, and I'm like, I can do it. I can do it.
I don't know how you did that.
This has to be a great experience.
I feel like that's like bringing customer obsession to a new level, because
there you go.
I may have been asking someone to reschedule my session for a second.
Guys, just an update. I looked down at my shirt and it actually says 2018. So just
there you go.
There you go. Now I know. I actually looked down and I was like, oh, it says the year. I should have read it.
Well, you will be there in spirit this year. Yeah, you will be there in spirit.
Yeah. We'll have to get you some swag so you you can remember.
I need everybody knows that I only seem to wear free t-shirts. So that's it. Okay, so today, if you didn't guess it, we are chatting about reInvent. So we're doing a bit of a reInvent reminder. It's happening in 2 weeks. That's right, isn't it? I forgot the date. And so we wanted to shout out some places in which you could find some really good sessions in related to cost, and also something that you might not think about when it comes to cost. So we're going to highlight some sessions today, as well as discuss Matt's awesome talk that he's going to be doing, and he's going to be sharing a bit more information about that, and also some kind of tips when it comes to going to reInvent and watching it virtually, so everybody can get involved. But to kick us off, Matt, do you want to give yourself a bit of an intro, your kind of 1-minute origin story about what you do at Amazon, to get going?
Yeah, so everyone, my name is Matt Calstert. I'm a senior technical product manager within the billing and cost management space. I joined the team about 3.5 years ago. Had a prior finance background actually within the government, so I was a controller within the United States Army. Then transitioned to come be the single-threaded owner for a product called AWS Budgets, which you guys may have heard of. And now work on a few other projects within the billing and cost management space. The great part is I get to work with customers on a regular basis, get to work with folks like Alex and Steph, as well as so many of our customers, which I really appreciate and love. And this year, I will be able to talk to you guys about cost allocation and visibility, which while an exciting topic, I think the other part, and that I think you guys will get a lot of value out of, is I'm actually co-presenting with one of our customers from 3M. So Sherry Wooldridge, she's their FinOps manager, and she actually stood up the team from nothing. Like it started with like her inception, and then so she's going to tell a bit of their origin story, kind of how they've grown their FinOps practice over the last 3 years, and then we're going to intersperse that with, well, how do you do that with native tools? Sherry's going to kind of walk through some of their approaches, and it's just a really engaging conversation. Anytime I get to hear like how customers actually put these principles to practice, I just get particularly excited.
I have to echo you, anyone listening, you have to watch this one. I actually worked with Sherry. She was one of my first customers 4+ years ago. And so watching their journey has been really awesome. And she's worked with people on the team as well. So this is going to be a good one. I strongly recommend, not that I'm biased.
No, that's great. I think definitely from going to reInvent as a customer back in 2018, as we've established now, just seeing the talks that I had, not only Amazon people, but customers are really engaging, because you do really feel like inspired by customers and see how they can do it. And so with that, I'm going to pop in the link now, just for those who don't know, obviously you could just Google how to go to reInvent, but we are doing virtual tickets, so you can watch Matt's talk and all the other great talks at reInvent this time. So I know we wanted to go through our what topics we're looking forward to the most. Should we, Alex? Should we share the screen now, or do you want to just talk about them in general?
Let's go ahead and share the screen and show kind of all the ones that are specific to cost, and we can go into which ones are our favorites. And to echo what Steph said, and Matt might know even more than we do on this subject, but you don't have to be going in person. Like, there are ones that you can watch virtually. Go ahead and log on, sign up. If you are going in person, though, obviously come say hi. I will be at the booth, the cost optimization booth, in the expo hall. So come, don't be shy. We can chat. You can give Twitch suggestions.
Yes.
But you can also see everything virtually as well.
I'll also be at the kiosk, which will be a lot of fun. I think they have me scheduled for 2 talks that I'm giving, one on the cost allocation and visibility, one on unit metrics. And I'm scheduled for booth duty after both of those. So I'll have to thank Lisa when I get back. But yeah, I actually think the kiosk is one of my favorite activities, being able to engage with customers and kind of understand what their journey is. And this is where you get to talk with the folks that are actually helping build the service. And so if you have ideas or thoughts on how we can make things better, that's also an excellent opportunity.
Yes, that's a great point. So at the kiosk, there will be actual people tied to the products, like Matt himself, and then people like me and Steph that work with customers to utilize those native cost tooling and, hearing those unique use cases. So pretty much any question you have should be able to be answered by someone at the kiosk.
And just someone asked in the chat, are we sharing this slide? There isn't really a way of sharing it on Twitch, but if you email us at costoptimization@amazon.com, I can send you this slide. Also, you can just screenshot us now, and that might be the easiest way of making sure that you get this information. So just to call that out. But yeah, going down, apart from your own talk, Matt, are you key to look at any of these sessions in specific and watch other people's?
Yes. So I'm always a bit of a homer, for better for worse. And I get a lot of utility out of the enterprise dashboards. And so I'm trying to remember which day it is, but
it's the Tuesday workshop one, right?
It's Tuesday because I will be there. Come say hi.
This one here.
I am particularly excited about that session. I always kind of use, when we're talking about tools that the customers can kind of build on top of, that always kind of gets the juices running as a product manager. I was like, well, how can we incorporate this into our native experience? And does this need to be standalone, or is this something that we should build on top of? And so I always love seeing those sessions, and then just the the sheer creativity of our customers, and like you have a thought about how someone's going to use something, and then you actually see them put it into practice, and it's like, oh, that's way better than what we were thinking. Like, go run with it. This is incredible.
And to preface, we did not tell Matt that he had to plug the optics.
Yeah, that's him himself.
The optics workshop. He did it himself. So
very true. No collusion going on here. I do point customers to it regularly. I mean, it's a great tool.
We were just in the prep, not a quick shout out, but we were just in the prep for that workshop, and we have like passed over 900 known customers that are using the dashboards that will be shown in that workshop. So if you are at reInvent, I think that the wait list is nearing full, if not full. So if you haven't already, jump on that wait list for the workshop, so you can join and listen in.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to see the basics of the labs, they're the 200 Cloud Intelligence Labs. Feel free to check those out on there. And recommend kind of preempting what we were talking about earlier about doing tips and stuff. The workshops I really recommend going to. I wouldn't be sitting here today if I hadn't gone to one of those workshops, because that's where I met a friend of the show, Nathan Besh, and I annoyed him with lots of questions about cost when I was first starting my kind of FinOps cloud financial management journey, and then proceeded to constantly email him, asking him questions. And then just over time, kind of after meeting him, he like pushed me towards meeting Alex, and here we are today. So those are great places to meet people and connect when you're there live, but also feel free to kind of reach out to the presenters is one thing that I think I recommend doing. If you have more questions, everybody at Amazon is always ready to help. So if you have more questions, I'm now going to apologize for everyone at reInvent who's now been bombarded with people asking questions.
No.
So I'm sorry.
And they weren't going to be bombarded before you mentioned that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
No, for sure. The first time I ever went to reInvent as a customer, I kind of just stood in the back and listened into a lot of sessions and workshops. Ask the questions. That's what we're here for. And it's so helpful. And as Matt said, you get to talk to the people who are like working on the products. Walk through your use case and take advantage of being there if you're going to be there in person. And if you're not, always feel free to ping us if you have questions about anything that was mentioned. As Steph can put up the email address on the screen. So don't hesitate to reach out, because that is what reInvent is here for, is to get connected to us and the products and us get your feedback. And I'm so excited to see people in person.
I still have people reach out to me because they watched a webinar about savings plans 2 years ago, and they're like, "Hey, I saw you as this presenter, and I asked a question." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Let me let's dive in."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just for like while we're very excited about reInvent. I think it really is kind of open doors. You guys have questions, like feel free to engage with us. Like that, I live for that. Like it's why I get up in the morning, is to engage with customers.
Definitely. And
yes,
just to answer a question.
The best part.
Okay. Will we be streaming? So there's kind of links on two questions. So number one, a lot of these sessions are being recorded. As Matt said, he's already recorded his, and they will be shown on the virtual program. So you can sign up, and I will free find that link. So you can sign up virtually for free and watch them there. In terms of us streaming, fun fact in advance, we should be streaming on the Friday. So after reInvent, the Friday, we'll be having a special show all about reInvent 2021. I forgot what year we were. And then we'll be doing that. So for then.
So one quick thing I just want to plug, but before we go too far, if you're trying to prioritize like which sessions should you be seeing, or which one should I go for the recording outside of like actually getting into the sessions. Mm-hmm. The Chalk Talks are the ones that are not going to be recorded. And so you may want to at least think through that. Like if you want to go to the ones that aren't necessarily going to be recorded, if you're going to be there in person, that may be a helpful way to prioritize.
Yep, I totally agree. And one of the Chalk Talks is on, I don't know the exact name, but on unit metrics, I believe. And if you've watched the show, you know my passion around KPIs and unit metrics. And this is going to be a really cool one, getting use cases of like what customers are doing and using unit metrics for, how they're making data-driven decisions. So if you're going to attend a Chalk Talk around the cost, I would definitely prioritize that one. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, chalk talks are so much fun. I remember also, me and Alex talked about this earlier, there was a slight difference in the way Americans and English say chalk. So hopefully we've covered both bases now. We've got chalk and talk and chalk. My American accent. But yeah, recommend checking out because those are the really engaging ones. I still remember the one that was on QuickSight that I went to in 2018 that was just people were throwing in questions and we were having group discussions and stuff like that. So recommend. So Alex, your favorite is the unit cost one. Any other ones you're looking forward to?
What is your favorite? I mean,
mine. I moved to what I wrote
before you
down,
put me on the spot again.
So you can reread the list. So I had a couple. So of course, the building dashboards one is one that I'm going to recommend because friend of the show, Ali, is doing that with Alex, and that's a really good one to kind of get your hands on and get in there and meet these guys in person, meet Alex in person, and Ali, she's been on the show. Another one is there's one which is called 8 Ways to Control and Manage Your Amazon Costs. And as such a cost nerd, I am just nosy because I want to know what the 8 ways are. Like, I just want to see what someone else is saying that I'm just like, what are they? What's the secret? Am I doing them or am I missing anything? So especially if you're new to cost, I'd recommend checking that out and seeing some of those. But two that are kind of maybe not related to cost so much, and maybe not kind of, if you are just 100% cost focused, then you might not look for, but there's automating account provisioning and customizing with Control Tower. And that might seem like a bit of a curveball, but I've spoken to a lot of customers recently that are kind of thinking about how they do things like tagging and kind of chargeback models, and they're using things like Control Tower when they're doing their thinking about what they're putting in place across their accounts, their account strategy of creation and what data they need to put in at the start when they're collecting that information, but also things like SCP policies or tag policies that they can roll out using Control Tower. So if you are in this world of thinking about, okay, so how do I do tagging, or how are we divvying up our accounts and thinking about strategy, and you're growing, maybe you've got 10 accounts at the moment, but you want to have 100 by the end of the year, thinking about how to implement these native tools early on is probably something that I would check out and recommend a lot of my customers to check out.
I would say,
oh, go on, sorry.
Just to say, you don't let the title or the premise of a session or a talk scare you away. Some of my favorite things that I've attended at Reinvent have been like last minute decisions. I don't know this topic, but I'm just going to dive in. And you'd be surprised of how you can apply it to a lot of things. You don't have to be technical to be in them. And the ones that are really technical are labeled that. So don't let like some of the titles scare you away. If you have the opportunity to be just like listen into what some of these chalk talks while you're there in person, just jump on it, even if you don't know the subject matter.
Yeah, worst case scenario, like you're 45 minutes smarter at the end of it. I mean, I remember sitting down, like peeking my head in the back of one of the Control Tower sessions back in 2019, and I think it was as it shortly got released, I think the year prior. So it was still pretty new. Just to kind of echo Steph's point, like these guardrails and stuff that you can kind of put in place, and like having a proper taxonomy with tag policies. Like it's going to make your cost allocation a much more straightforward process. So that's my teaser for the talk, because I do kind of dive into both using an account and a tag-based strategy for cost allocation. But those are, really just foundational capabilities you can then build on top of.
It's like a double feature. Go to Matt's talk about cost allocation and then go to Control Tower to learn about it. For sure. What was the other one I had? Oh, gain health and performance insights using CloudWatch. Just a general one, especially if you're kind of building up infrastructure, start to understand how to use your CloudWatch time. There's somebody on the chat who will say it's their first time going in person. So have fun. Let us know. Hopefully go meet Alex. Go say hi.
Come say hi to me. Also, any of the customer-led sessions or customer stories, again, even if you don't know exactly like the premise of, what's listed in that story, those are really fun to listen to and always give me so many ideas because you get to hear this at unique use case. I think last year there was a really cool one that we did with the NFL that, had nothing to do with my day-to-day work, but it was just really cool listening and getting to learn about that. And for virtual, the keynotes are going to be streamed, I believe, 3 times each. So you should be able to get whatever time zone you're in. I know that some of the stuff is a little rougher for Steph's time zone, being very far from Pacific, but a lot of them have those like multiple time zones that you can jump into.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to seeing all the announcements. All the stuff's going to be released. It's very exciting. Okay, so unless either of you have got any other talks that you want to highlight, if you wanted.
No, but now I want to know what the 8 things are. I'm listing out in my head. I'm like, I don't know who's doing it.
Whoever it
probably
is,
figure that out.
Oh, I think it's Owen. I need to go ping Owen and ask him what are the 8 things.
Yeah, let's into the secret.
Yeah, he very well might not tell me. He'll probably tell me to show up in person.
Yeah, a list is always a way to draw me in. Give me a list, and I'm there. Check things off.
Definitely, yeah. Just to be like, take those out. No. So I was going to say, do we want to move on to some, like, we've covered some of them already, some tips for going to reInvent. I think we've already kind of covered things like recommending chalk talks are a really good way to go and engage with people. Checking out the booth with Alex and all the other Amazon people, go and see those guys. Any other tips that come to mind for you guys generally?
I think maybe just like something to note, like once you register, like there's like a search function within the login portal that'll allow you to kind of prioritize, and then you can see your sessions on the map. I unfortunately have not bookmarked anything just yet because I'm still kind of waiting to see when those customer meetings come out. So the only thing you'll see on my calendar, and the reason I'm not showing it, is that it just shows my booth duty. But I mean, it's a really helpful kind of tool, and it's all in one place. You know, I'm always a big fan of sorting and filtering when I can.
Yeah.
That too, and I believe if you bookmark it and you miss it, and it's something that is like recorded, it'll keep that like list for you to go back and watch it. For the ones that are streaming, I think if you bookmark it, but you maybe didn't attend in person, but if you are attending virtually, join with a friend or a coworker or a teammate, because watching with someone and chatting back and forth, I feel like the ideas become even bigger in that sense. So strongly recommend doing that. We did that a little bit last year. Steph and I did, and got some really cool ideas out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even organically, I tend to do that. Like, we'll have a group chat with the PMs and the team, and like we'll hear releases, and we're like, all right, how does this adjust how we're supposed to be describing things? Or like, oh my God, now we can go do these extra new capabilities. So I always get very, very excited about these announcements as well.
This should show you the audience, like how real time this stuff is. Like we are finding some of this out with you. I remember my first presentation at working at reInvent was like a guided, I think it was a workshop, but it was like through Cost Explorer, and Cost Explorer launched, Matt, you're responsible for this, a new UI the day before, and I had to go through and change every single screenshot in the lab because we had no idea what was happening. So maybe I have Matt to blame for that one.
I hope it wasn't me. It may have, depending on the day, it may have been. I've dabbled across a couple of our different products. But yeah, no, what's fun is like when you have a customer session booked and then they ask you about the thing that just released, and like, so can you explain to me the pricing dimension? And I'm like, no, but I can get back to you really quickly.
I think the biggest tip here is bear with us when all these things come, because AWS is a big place and there are going to be loads of announcements going through, which is going to be, I can't wait to, I'll probably just wake up and then my Slack is just going to be full of messages from our team. Like, did you see this? Did you see this? And I can just get the cliff notes, which is awesome.
But the good thing is that Steph and I are on a team of people that are going to be watching and gathering and figuring out which of these announcements will pertain to optimization, even the ones that you might not right away think, oh, that's cost optimization. And that is what we're going to be recapping on Friday. So we are here to help you with that, with that process.
Yeah, Friday the 3rd. I feel like I've just said a date and I can't remember. I think that's right. The Friday of Reinvent will be back on. For those who maybe joined us halfway through, we're going to be talking about the announcements, like Alex said, on the Friday after Reinvent. So same time, just different day. So exactly the same time, so that works for everybody else. Someone also just commented in the chat, create a demo account when you go to the conference. So if you're at Reinvent and you want to go and do workshops and you want to try out the things that you've just seen, that's a great idea. So you can just start messing around and start doing things as you go. So definitely recommend that. One thing that I thought over the other day was, well, two things I wanted to highlight was go do something random. So I remember Alex can tell the story that she just mentioned earlier that she'll tell in a second, but my recommendation is when you're there, especially if you're doing it in person or if you're watching it live, say you have a really focused area, it could be cost or it could be something else that you're really interested in or your job is about, go do that. But also like choose a random session that sounds interesting, like the NFL one. If there was something that interests you outside of your work, go and learn about that. Alex, what was the story you mentioned earlier?
Deep Racer. I got hooked. I like stumbled into a Deep Racer talk like 3 years ago, right when it like we first released it, and then I was like, I need one, but they were so hard to find at that time. And then we hired you, and you were like, I have one, and
I have two. They're just here. These are two Deep Racers that just live here that I've never opened. That I queued for hours. Me and my friend Matt Davey were at Reinvent. We sat in a queue for hours just because we would like heard the rumor that if you went to a session. So if there's any deep sessions, go to the deep sessions. There was a Deep Lens a few years ago, Deep Racer. You may get a free one. Who knows? If they're still doing that. No promises. Don't say Steph said you get a free Deep Racer if you go to
Feeling a lot of FOMO right now.
Yeah,
I all the FOMO. But yeah, so go to something random that you'll enjoy. Maybe you'll learn something. And then also another tip: if you are working in the area of FinOps or you have people in your business that are working in cloud and finance. And want to learn more about financial management, maybe suggest to them watching some of the shows that we just shared. So I'll just throw up this picture again, but maybe get them to watch some of these. So if they're not going to Reinvent itself and they're doing it virtually, kind of encourage people to go along. Remember that not all these sessions are super technical, that everybody can learn about the cloud, and it's really useful to do that. So recommend getting the rest of your business to kind of come along and learn a bit about, especially cloud financial management, so you can all have that kind of similar conversations that we like to talk about, so be on the same plane and language.
One thing that I just thought about is that we haven't really touched on, but there's also what we call like peer connect events. And again, like I always find like I learn the most from customers, and the feedback I've heard from other customers that they also learn a ton from being able to network and meet and kind of share tips and tricks across other customers. And so these peer connect events, and I need to pull up the invite for, there we go. There's a couple of different sessions, both the week of and then the week after the in-person event that I can't recommend enough. They're really high quality, like high leverage activities that you get, even if you're just a fly on the wall, you're going to get a ton out of.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll try to keep, as we hear more and more of these things, we'll try to keep posting them on Twitter and LinkedIn. If you want to take a look there, I know a lot comes out. As you can tell, we're kind of remembering things as we're talking. So if you hear something, send it our way too. We'd love to, share with everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. Send us emails as always, costoptimization@amazon.com. Want to hear how you do it. If you found something out that we haven't shared, then let's keep us posted. So that's all for us today. Just one last time, if you haven't signed up already, please sign up to Reinvent virtually, or I think we're sold out. I'm not sure for the main event. So virtually, go and check it out. Say hi to Matt and Alex when you go. Get to meet them and have a great time. Twitter handles really quickly. Mine is Live Like a Nerd. Alex, what's your Twitter handle again?
Ahead of tweets. Ahead
of tweets.
Underscore tweets.
Matt, you on Twitter? I should have.
Yeah, I am. Mine's not as fun, but it's at Matthew Calcert on Twitter. So
nice. Everybody is sensible. Mine is just nothing to do with my job. It's my hobby. But yeah, of course. Well, everybody go and have a good time. And we are here next week talking a bit about, we're going to have someone back from the financial management team back in again to discuss some more opportunities to help with them. But yeah, have a good time, and we'll speak to you all next week.